So today actually marks exactly by the day 11 years ago when I found out the most heartbreaking news that my baby that I was pregnant with, it was a girl, that her heart stopped beating. And so it was on a Thursday actually, right? So let's walk through. It was on a Thursday afternoon. I was on the phone with my mom, and she was asking how my baby was doing in my stomach, like how have I been feeling the kicking. And I was actually like playing around, and I was like, actually, no, I haven't been feeling her. I think she turned around or something, or she's on vacation, but I haven't been feeling her in a couple of days. And I was just kind of laughing about it. And she kind of got serious on the phone, and she was like, that's not good. Like, you should definitely go to the doctor and get that checked out. And so I was like, do you think so? And so I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the doctor. I hung up the phone with her and immediately just started bawling my eyes out because I had a feeling something was wrong. But it's weird that I didn't even think anything of it until she told me that suggested me going to the doctor. So I went to the doctor's office. My aunt worked there at the time. The doctor wasn't in that day. And she was able to check my stomach to do the heartbeat, the ultrasound. And she was kind of concerned. She said she didn't hear anything. And so I was like, that's weird. Like, what could be the issue, you know? It's my first pregnancy. I was, 22 years old. Super young. So she had scheduled me an appointment to go to the hospital across the street, University Hospital in Tampa. And I had this doctor, a nurse. She went in and did the ultrasound for me. And she kind of just looked a little weird, and she said, I'm gonna go get the doctor real quick. And she left the room, and I'm just kind of still wondering what's going on. And the doctor came in. I can't remember his name now, but I know him and his wife both worked at the hospital together. Super nice guy. And he came in, and I think he had tried it out also. And he was just like, you know, he's sorry, but there's no heartbeat for the baby. And I didn't even know what to do. I had never knew of anybody that lost their pregnancy. And I was like, well, what can we do? Like, is there something that we can do about it? Like, to help get the baby going again? And he's just like, no. And so my whole world just shattered that day. And so we scheduled an appointment the next day, so it would be a Friday, which today is a Friday, right? So it was on July 30th, 2009, for me to go into the hospital so that we can go through with the delivery. I mean, me and the father of the baby, we just went home and we were just bawling our eyes out. And just wondering why this was happening. Like, we were both good people. Like, it just made no sense. And we're just like lost. So the next day we go to the hospital and we prepared for the rest of the day. And I'm like, how do I prepare for this? It was my first time even being pregnant. Like, it was all first. So what made it even harder was I had just gotten into my 7th month. And so it was on a Friday that I went into the hospital to have this procedure done. Not even procedure, I had to deliver. That Sunday coming up, which was going to be August 2nd. So this Sunday is going to be August 2nd also. It was going to be August 2nd. And that was the day of my, my baby shower. And so I still have the baby shower invitation, right? We were so excited that we had already built the crib and put the bed sheets on it. Like, it was Care Bears, and it was the cutest thing. But we had already done all that probably a couple weeks beforehand. And so we were going through this time for that same weekend was supposed to be our baby shower. So we had to have somebody contact all of our guests and contact the facility that we were going to have the baby shower at, and let them know let them know what was going on. Not everybody was notified, so I was getting texts from my friends and stuff asking what we needed still, and that weekend was just the worst. Because I had to tell people there's not going to be a baby shower. It still hurts me today because I had so many people there for me, and I know it hurt them too because they didn't know what to do for me. And there's nothing that you could do for me, right? Because it's something that I had to go through myself. So it was in the middle of the night. My body was finally ready to deliver. And that was the hardest thing, was trying to get out, trying to push out a baby that you knew was not even alive. So as if all of that other stuff was hard enough to deal with, it's like you still have to go through the motions of delivering your first baby that wasn't going to even make it. It was the worst. I had so much support though from my family and from, my in-laws also. They came. I still remember all the people that came out to the hospital immediately. My sister in Long Island, her and her family drove out here immediately when they found out what was happening. And I was very thankful for that. And she came and slept with us at the hospital also. And when I took like 2 weeks off from work, because Mia and the baby's father, we just couldn't even get out of bed. We literally were in bed just crying for what felt like weeks. And he was just kept asking God, why us? Like, why are you doing this to us? I don't remember feeling like that, because even after going through all of that, I was like, there has to be a reason and a meaning for all of this. And we're going to find out one day what it is. We're obviously not going to find now. We just have to let time go. But I can say, I feel like maybe for 2 years, the entire 2 years after that, it was very hard for me. Like, I feel like I was almost a little depressed for that time, because it was such a pivotal moment in my life. I tell you, before that happened, I was like the goofiest person. Even at work, I was very playful. And then after that happened, it changed who I was, because I didn't want to be home and keep on constantly reminding myself of this empty space in our place. Actually, we kept the crib up for a little longer than we should have, but we just wanted to take it down when we were ready. And so we eventually did. But that was hard also, The hardest part also was when we were at the hospital right after I delivered, and I'm holding this baby, and I'm looking like I was holding her, because we were able to hold her after. And as I'm holding her, her neck kind of went moved, and I got so excited for a second, because I was like, she's alive. But then I just realized that it was just my arm moving it. And so that hurt me so bad. We had a therapist come in to the room, and she was amazing. She had given us a keepsake box. I still have it. I actually just gave out my bedding that I had, the Care Bears that I never got to use. I actually just got rid of it last year. So at my 10-year anniversary of losing her, I finally was able to let go of that part. So this is a keepsake box. It was crazy because the doctors, the nurses, during the time that we were going through it, they were asking if we wanted to take pictures of the baby after it was delivered. And I thought it was the craziest thing, because I'm like, no, I will never be okay with looking at pictures of my dead baby. Like, I didn't understand it. And so the nurses were like, look, we're going to take it anyways on our end, and we're going to put it in a keepsake box for you because it has helped people heal. And even my mother-in-law at the time was asking if she could take pictures. And I honestly felt like it was super wrong and disrespectful. And I was like, I don't think that I was upset. I know she had taken some pictures. I never saw the ones that she had, but I'm thankful that they did put the pictures inside my keepsake box, because throughout the years, I would be wondering what I'm trying, remembering that moment. I honestly feel like it was 2 years ago. It feels like, because I feel like it's so fresh to me still, because I'm never going to forget all of the moments that I had in there, And so if you guys care to see it, you could turn away for a second, but this is what I actually have. For, her feet, it was super little. She was very little. So unfortunately, since she was already 7 months, she was considered her own a human being. So we had to figure out if we were going to have a funeral for her or get her cremated. And, I didn't want to bury her, because honestly, I wanted to have her with me all the time. So in this keepsake box, they did the footprints. I mean, they were just such amazing people that were there. I still have the sonograms from, the checkup, the doctor visits. I saved everything. Dr. Johnson. Actually, it was Dr. Johnson. Dr. Johnson's the one that was there to help deliver the baby, which he actually delivered my niece and my brother. So he has my whole family is always going to remember him as a doctor. So I did, here we go. It was the weird thing is I take a lot of pictures in my life, but during the time I was actually pregnant, I didn't even take that many pictures. This is one of my belly shots that I actually did have, which is probably the only picture that I have of that. Let's rewind a little bit, because it was even harder for me at that time, because not only was I pregnant, but my 2 sisters and one of my cousins were also pregnant. We were all pregnant at the same time, and we were all due a couple weeks apart from each other. So here's my sister Diana from New York. She's the one that came down she came down right away while she was pregnant. And I worried about her coming down at that time, because I don't want her to cause her any stress. And I don't know what happened with my pregnancy. I don't know, because I don't think that it was from any stress. I just think that it's just a natural thing that happens sometimes to people, and we can't explain it. So I had to experience all of that, experience all my 2 nephews being born at the time, and my cousin's kid also. I keep on getting reminded that I'm not having that same experience. And so it's tough, because people don't know it's hard for them to feel happy about their child when I already have experienced my loss. But I don't want to take that away from them. I want them to still be happy. Obviously, it's, it's hard for them still because they're my family. So one of the therapists had came to me and gave me a couple of different ideas of what we could do to kind of have a keepsake, or to get the baby cremated. She told us about one of her other people that she knew had went to Build-A-Bear and got the ashes sewn into the bear. And I thought that was a really nice idea because I've always, growing up, I always had bears. I always collected them. I always had stuffed animals. And so I thought that was very nice. And I wanted to keep her in my shelf, just like that. So we got her, if you hear it, her ashes are put into this bear. Her name is Ariana. And I have, got a tattoo of her, of her memory. And I think it's super important that we celebrate her every year. So we started on the anniversary that we would go to the beach every year on August 1st. Because though I was in the hospital July 30th, I didn't deliver until August 1st, which was the Saturday. In the middle of the night. So technically her anniversary of her death is on August 1st. So I had we would go take her to the beach. I know it sounds weird. I've told some people about it and they thought it was freaky. I thought it was weird. But it's my time, my day that I kind of just go to the beach. And I don't do anything else that day. I give that day to her every year. And I bring my boys with me every year. We, they know that they have their sister in heaven. And they talk about it openly. So, and I want them to always be able to do that. So I just want you guys to be aware that this stuff happens, it's not unfortunately it happens. It's the crazy thing to me is that almost exactly 2 years later, I give birth to my boy, Peyton. His birthday is July 26th. So all this stuff started happening to me July 30th, 2009. He was born July 26th, 2011. And to me, it wasn't planned out that way, but to me, that was my gift from God for, taking my baby sooner. And I always said it since he was born that he was just an angel, probably born with a smile. And he has just throughout the year, he did not cry much when he was a baby, only when he needed a bottle or something but he has been the most perfect child. And I just feel like that was our gift because of what we had to handle before. And it really does make you stronger. Even though it's hard for me to still talk about it. I felt like the hardest part was for a couple of years after that happened to me. Oh, even weeks. I would go to school, go to work. And I would have people looking at me with my belly is gone. And they would be like, oh my God, you had the baby. Let me see pictures. And I would just keep on breaking down. Because not everybody was notified about it, So I understand, because I would ask them the same thing. But someone that I knew that was pregnant, and they would automatically know that something was wrong, So that was the thing, is you have to go get over it on your own, but then how do you get over it when you have to keep facing it left and right? You have to just kind of build up your walls and get your kind of prepare for that to happen next time. And that's not easy. You can tell them, oh, you have to be the one that's strong for them. And then I would find later on, I'd just go home and just start bawling my eyes out. So I'm thankful. And I do feel like we, like, heaven gained an angel. So I feel like she's always there to protect my boys. And look, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard because I'll see other people going through it too. Unfortunately, my own sister, I think it was in 2017, I want to say, the one that came down from Long Island, she ended up having the same thing happen to her. And I don't know if that's even something that's hereditary or what, but so I had to do the same. I went up there to Long Island to go be with her because I knew that I was the only person that could understand what she was going through. The nice thing, the crazy thing, is that my stepson now is basically the same age too. So when I look at him, he just turned 11. And I look at him and I'm like, my daughter would have been the same age as you right now. His birthday's July 20th. So it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I always kind of try making things connect. But it's nice that I have my boys that they go with me every year to celebrate her. And we just sit there on the beach and spend time together. I've been kind of upset because I found a couple of weeks ago, I found a whole letter that I wrote to the baby while she was in my stomach. Obviously, I didn't know what was happening, what was going to happen. But I had kind of did a recap of everybody's lives, all my family, what was going on in that time, and how we were so excited. We were expecting her, and we couldn't wait to find out what she was like. I forgot that I had wrote it, and that I found it a couple weeks ago, and it just took me back to it again. And I think it's super important that we are easy on the people that are experiencing that, because some things I got from family members, I'm not going to say who, but you know, some people I felt like were putting the blame on me. Oh, she didn't eat properly, like basically putting the blame that my baby died because of me. And I was very, like, safe and everything, so I didn't, you know, it was hard to hear because as it is, you're already probably blaming yourself. So the hard part was having the 2 pregnancies after, my 2 boys, Peyton and Des. I was a high-risk pregnancy then. So what was hard was usually people are happy and excited when they're pregnant. I was scared. I was scared the entire time, worried, very cautious. I'm worried because I'm scared that I'm enjoying my time with this baby. You know, you're feeling the movements and everything inside your stomach. I'm scared that it's going to happen again. Maybe something's wrong with my body, you know. And so it was hard when everyone's happy for me and I'm happy too, but there's also that other side of me that's, I don't know if this is going to make it the entire way, you know. And I'm so thankful because I have my 2 boys. I'm thankful even if I didn't have the 2 boys, like, I was thankful to even have been able to experience a pregnancy, even with my first one. It didn't end up the way anyone would ever want it to, but at least I was able to feel that and experience it. Some other people are never able to even experience it because their bodies just can't produce babies, you know. So I'm thankful and I'm very blessed. I'm super blessed. I know that my little girl Ariana and my nephew Carmine are playing in the heavens together. So rest peace. Rest easy, babies. I have a list of some of the things, so other people can kind of understand a little bit more. Some of the problems that we go through in our grieving process, restoring emotional balance. We have to figure out what to do with our baby's belongings, shower gifts, maternity clothes. We have a lack of motivation, we may. Anniversary dates such as birth, the death, and our due date. Like, you guys know, it's 11 years later, and I remember the exact chain of events from day to day. Delaying major decisions for at least a year, moving, job change, etc. Marital discord. So a lot of people end up having marriage trouble. A lot of people end up splitting after they experience a loss. It's a real thing, and that's the kind of time to help to try to build your relationship to grow stronger. They have to try figuring out ways of remembering their baby, the feelings that we are different, which I do feel like that. I do feel like I am different from others because people have not been through what I have been through. That's how I feel. And when people ask you, how many children do you have? You don't know what to say. I know, like now I say two, but before I didn't know what to say. And what was hurtful also was a lot of people would be like, oh my gosh, you have two boys. You can't have a girl. And I'm like, that is not something I would even ever say to anybody. Like now, because I understand it, I know not to say stuff like that to people because I know it's hurtful, and we don't really know what other people have really experienced and gone through. So since I was a daughter of my girl, like, I don't want to hear that when people telling me that, well, I was able to have a girl, but she didn't make it, you know? Going to the doctor's, returning to the physician's office, and returning to the workplace. And I'm going to add on my own, returning to school if you're in college, because that was where I had the most trouble. That and work. And eventually, I felt like I had to leave my job that I was at because I was constantly reminded there also. And I felt like I just needed to break away from everything that reminded me or that kept on, it wouldn't let me, forget. I kind of had to reinvent myself, I feel like. This is a poem that they gave me. It's called Don't. Don't tell me that you understand. Don't tell me that you know. Don't tell me that I will surely survive. How I will surely grow. Don't tell me this is just a test. That I am truly blessed. That I am chosen for the task. Apart from all the rest. Don't come at me with answers. That can only come from me. Don't tell me how my grief will pass. That I will soon be free. Don't stand in plow's judgment of the bonds I must untie. Don't tell me how to suffer, and don't tell me how to cry. My life is filled with selfishness. My pain is all I see. But I need you. I need your love unconditionally. Accept me in my ups and downs. I need someone to share. Just hold my hand and let me cry and say, my friend, I care. Thank you so much. Let me know if anyone is going through it and you need someone to talk to or relate to. I'm here, and I've probably felt every kind of emotion that you can possibly feel when it comes to that. So let's be sensitive to others that are experiencing that and be there for them, but don't overdo it. Because everyone grieves their own ways. Some people need everyone to be with them. Kind of try to read the situation and read them. Give them their space. Let them know you're there for them. You feel for them. If they want to talk about it, if they want to just sit there with you. It was very hard because I kept on getting messages or texts, from people, close people, and, oh, hey Jen, how you feeling? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you. I could tell you I'm fine. I'm not fine. I don't think that that's even a question that should be asked. You know? You want the truth? I'm heartbroken. Like, never gonna be the same. So I feel like anytime, if people feel like they can't go on because a relationship ends, like, that's not even the worst thing that could happen. There's a lot more serious losses out there than someone deciding they don't want to be with you anymore. Stay blessed, guys.